All right, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. This is the Dark Spirits, Dark Sports NFL podcast. You may wonder why we were gone for so long. Well, it's because the last one we recorded was about 8 weeks ago, 2 months. And the reason why is because we had already predicted the future. So we were just chilling the whole time. By predicting the future, I mean that if you haven't watched the last podcast, Icy Gang goes back to Buffalo. The thumbnail on that was Patrick Mahomes getting pelted by the Buffalo Bills fans. And in that episode, we also made our predictions for what our top teams were going to be in the AFC and the NFC. And, it just feels really good to be right a lot of times because it's a lot of bullshit on YouTube. People just talking, trying to get likes, but we giving you info where you can make money off of. I made a lot of money off of these picks. We're going to continue winning going into the Wildcard Weekend and the champions. At the time that we recorded it, and we'll put a screenshot up here, 1, 2, and 3 in the AFC were the Chiefs, Bills, and Steelers. 1, 2, and 3 in the NFC were the Lions, Eagles, and Falcons. Do you remember what your top teams were in each conference at that point?
My top teams for the NFC were the Lions, the Eagles, and the Commanders. And for the AFC, it was the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Texans.
Yep, that sounds right. At the time, my top teams were for the AFC, Lions, Eagles, and the Vikings. And my top teams for the AFC were Kansas City, Buffalo, and Baltimore. So we basically predicted the future because now I'm going to put a screenshot up here showing the NFL playoff picture. So, take a look. Look at the current NFL standings after the regular season. In the AFC, we got the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens. So we had that right. I believe my son had the Texans. But, top four, right? We got them. In the NFC, we both said Lions and Eagles. His third team was the Commanders. My third team was the Vikings. Look at the standings. Spot 5 and 6, Vikings and Commanders. 98, it's kind of like we know what it is we're talking about.
People don't listen.
They don't listen, right? Because we don't have a dance or something or, something really salacious on the thumbnail. But hey, y'all keep on doing works for you. We're going to keep on winning. Next segment. Let's go into the playoff predictions. Let's give them something new that they can't get anywhere else. Wildcard Weekend. Let's go ahead and make some more money off of this. You go ahead and take this one, 98.
We'll start with the NFC. The Lions have a first round bye, so they'll be waiting for the winner of the Packers-Eagles game in the divisional round, which will be the Eagles. The Commanders, I have a feeling the Commanders are going to beat the Bucs as long as they can lock down Mike Evans and stop Bucky Irving. And the Vikings are probably going to beat the Rams. So the divisional round is going to be Lions-Eagles versus Washington and the Vikings.
Eagles and Packers, I would like this game better if Jalen was playing, but I do think that because the Eagles have home field advantage here, I think we should be able to beat the Packers. I think it's going to be a close game, but yes, I'm going to go Eagles, which makes Eagles and Lions in the divisional round. This Commanders and Tampa Bay game, Tampa Bay is favored in this game, which I think is a little bit unfair. Not taking anything away from Tampa Bay, and I'm a big Mike Evans fan also. Shout out to him. I think this is his 11th season in a row with 1,000 receiving yards.
Only person with him is Jerry Rice.
I respect that. However, I think that the Commanders believe they could win. I think that I'm not really that impressed with when they beat us, the Eagles, because they beat us without Jalen Hurts and without a couple of our key defensive guys. But I'm going to go ahead and get some action on this Commanders-Buccaneers. I think that the Commanders should win that game. So I'm going to pick the Commanders in that game, even though they're the 6th seed, beating the number 3 seed. This one comes tough. Vikings and Rams. The Vikings were my third NFC team, so I'm going to stand on business here, and I'm going to pick the Vikings as the 5 seed to go out. Specifically because on that Sunday game the other day, when they had to play the Lions, they just were not able to get any offense against a depleted Lions secondary. I think that they got a lot of film now. I think they're going to fix some mistakes there. I'm looking for Justin Jefferson to probably have maybe like 2 or 3 touchdowns in this game. So that's what I got for NFC. Why don't you go ahead and lead us off with the AFC?
Got my picks for the AFC. Chiefs have the divisional round, or the Chiefs are 1 seed, first round bye. So they will be waiting for the winner of the Broncos-Bills game, which will be the Bills. And on the bottom, we have Ravens versus Texans for the other divisional round. The Ravens will beat the Steelers, and the Texans will most likely beat the Chargers.
My son's team is Houston, so I'm going to ride. I'm going to stand on business again, just like I picked Vikings. I'm picking Houston in that game. We'll see what happens. I think I'm going to hold off on going past the divisional round because a lot of stuff could happen. Somebody could get hurt. Anything could happen. You never know. But just to recap, what we both have on the AFC side this wildcard weekend, we have Buffalo, Baltimore, and Houston Texans. Does that sound about right?
Yep.
Now, what's not as certain, we both said Eagles beating the Packers on the NFC.
Yes.
I believe you also said Commanders beating the Buccaneers?
Yes.
All right. And did you go Rams or Vikings?
Vikings.
Vikings. Okay, so we're in unison. So, hey, let's go ahead and close this out.
If you follow us and we get it wrong, do not come looking for us and blame us for you losing your money.
Oh, they will.
They probably will anyway, but
They will.
We told y'all gotta watch the video. Gotta watch the full video.
Yes.
So yeah, if we get it wrong, don't come yelling at us because we are a dad and a son.
Yes.
Just having fun pretty much with this.
Best in the business. Look, we're the best in the business doing this. There's nobody else that's making father-son sports podcasts about NFL right now. If they are, put it to me in the comment. There will be none because there are none. If you go back and look at our record for all of our podcasts and all of our picks, you'll see that we probably have like an 80% win ratio. And like I told my son, in Vegas, all they need to have is a 51% win ratio to be good, to be considered winning. So, I mean, look at last year also. Look at this year. The record speaks for itself. Good luck. Sometimes it's fun just to have a friendly wager. If not, it's kind of fun just to predict the future. That way you get to smack talk and say, I told you so. So thanks again for listening to Dark Spirits, Dark Sports Podcast. And we will see you next week probably to talk about the divisional round NFL. That's all we got. Thank you.
Hey, y'all.